Hey, what's up guys? Grim here with Destiny.Bungie.org, and we actually got a chance to talk to Chris Butcher, who is the engineering lead on Destiny from Bungie. We asked a lot of questions that were on our mind, and certainly were on yours as well. Thanks so much for submitting them over the forum and Twitter. Here's what he had to say.
So the way it works is that every time you decide you want to go and do an activity in Destiny, you're going to decide where you want to go and what you're going to do, then you're going to go there. And so then when you're there in that place, you have the activity that you selected, and that's your main primary objective. But then along the way, you're going to encounter things, maybe in the private areas, maybe in public areas. Maybe you'll see something interesting going on you want to go and check out, or you'll see some object, or you want to do some exploration. And those things are kind of secondary, and public objectives work the same way. Public events work the same way. You'll go in a public area, you'll see some other people maybe a dynamic public event will start, and you'll say, that looks interesting. Maybe I'll go and do that. Maybe I'll go and help those people, or maybe I'll go and see what those AI characters over there are doing. So you always have your main objective, which is the thing that you originally came there to do, but then if we're trying to do everything we can to distract you and entice you to go and spend more time and just kind of noodle around and explore and do interesting things. With every game, you're not going to take all of the geometry in the game and bring it up to the standard that would support players being out there and like kicking the tires on every little abandoned car. So if you're the kind of person that wants just to experience your own private epic story, you can experience your own private epic story all the way to the end of the primary storyline by yourself if you want to. There are a number of other activities in the world that have to be experienced with other players. For example, you can't play competitive multiplayer by yourself, right? That wouldn't really make sense. Well, you can go in by yourself, but then other players will be found for you to join you. Similarly, there are other experiences, which we're not really talking about all of them, that do require other players to cooperate with, but they're not necessarily part of that main storyline. So we're showing 7 players in a public area here at E3, and that's what we're showing. Because they're still in a pre-alpha state, I think it would be premature to be talking about numbers on player count. I would say that we're not shooting for 100, because 100 first-person shooter players would not make any sense in one area, but we're not talking about numbers beyond that. Well, one of the important goals that we have is to make sure that players all have their own unique, customized character in Destiny, right? So as you go through the game, you are acquiring items and weapons, and you're customizing your abilities, the way your character fights, the way your character looks, and all of that customization can be brought into the competitive multiplayer. So we've made sure that we're tuning the game as a whole so that everything is balanced across the whole game. So if you're talking about visual customization, I think you can kind of look at the materials we've released both at GDC and also here at E3 to get a sense of what the visuals look like, although we haven't shown everything there. There is more to show, a little bit more, but that's what we've released so far. As far as customizing the abilities and the way that you play, I think it's much, much deeper than anything that we've done before, because as you can see in the E3 demo, you're choosing which weapons you want to have, you're picking up all kinds of different weapons throughout the game storyline, you're choosing which of those you're going to bring with you at any one time. You're able to customize the abilities that you have. At E3 we showed that the main character who was in the playthrough was playing a warlock, and that character had a solar flare and nova bomb as the 2 abilities that we were showing. There's a pretty extensive customization that can go on, and every one of your weapons we've also showed has an upgrade tree, and in the upgrade tree there are choices where you can't have everything, so you have to pick and choose what you want for each particular weapon, and almost every weapon has its own unique upgrade tree, so there's really just a huge depth to explore there. We think people are going to find their own play style, and they're going to be incented to change it as they find new items throughout the game, so people won't get stuck playing just one play style.
all
all of the loot is generated for you based on what's an appropriate level for your character, what character class are you. We have a lot of systems behind the scenes that are looking at, like what is the right thing for you to upgrade next, and kind of figuring out what is the nice way to kind of push you as far as character customization goes. Wow. So it's very replayable. I would say that there's a lot of different activities in the game, so we don't think people should be grinding the same thing over and over again. We've invested a lot of work in our AI to build encounters that play out differently every time you experience them. Because if you think about the Halo AI, you're playing a lot of the time and always approaching encounters from the same direction. The world of Destiny is very open, and there are a lot of encounters that just exist in one place, and then players experience them by approaching from any different direction. And players can be coming from multiple directions at once if you're talking about something that's in a public area. So we've had a lot of work there on making sure the AI is very reactive. There are different houses of the Fallen. We were fighting the House of Devils. That was the house that we were fighting today. And we saw Rixus, who was one of the leaders of the House of Devils. There are many races in Destiny. The Fallen are just one of the enemy races, and within each race there are also factions of that race. And so one of the things that you'll be doing as you play Destiny is kind of uncovering and experiencing what are these different factions, what are their relationships to each other. And so you won't always just be in a situation where it's just you and then one faction that's there, right? Oftentimes when you're going out into the wild, there's contested territory. One of the things that we were saying is that Destiny is a first-person shooter. And so the gameplay that we are focusing on is the individual shooting gameplay. So the spaceships that exist in Destiny are an important part of the game, but it's not a space combat simulator or anything like that. Customization is a very important part of Destiny. We're not talking about the ghost and customization right now. We're talking about you get to change the way your character looks, the way your character fights, and also how you express yourself in the game world. Okay. What the ghost does for you in the game is it can serve as an exploration aid, like we saw in the E3 demo. The ghost also is able to hack into alien technology or activate dormant Golden Age technology, so it's a tool that you can use in that way. And the ghost is also a communication link back to your personal starship. The time of day cycles in all the destinations. We're not striving for something totally realistic, so it's not a 24-hour day-night cycle. It is
different on different worlds because of the light sourcing?
If you travel from one place to another, I think you would expect the time of day to be different, those different places. The solar system in Destiny has changed in many ways from the solar system as we see it today in our time. So we're kind of going for an idealized picture of what it might be like in this strange new future, and that lets us take some liberties for the purpose of having a more compelling game experience. We're talking about the death mechanic mostly in terms of what happens at E3. So I think what happens in the E3 build is you can see that when players die, another player can revive them. There are also mechanics that let you revive yourself, but I'm pretty sure we're not talking about those details because honestly those details, some of them are still being settled. We're still like in a pre-alpha state, and the death mechanic is a very important part of the solo game experience. We have to make sure it's just right before we start talking about how it works. So the only third-person camera that we're showing at E3 is some of the abilities take you to third person so you can see their effect, and also some of the ways that you can express yourself go to third person. We're not showing anything beyond that right now. We really don't have any information to talk about that yet. I think we're talking about platforms that are not even released yet, right? So I think it'd be pretty premature to be talking about that. We've been working on this game for years and years, and one of the big things that we've done is we've built a multi-platform engine that is specifically designed just to get the maximum performance out of every platform that it ships on. So we've done a ton of work on all of those platforms to make sure that we get everything out of them. Now, obviously, they're very different hardware, right? Yeah. Like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 have been out for years and years, so I think there will be differences, but everything we're showing at E3, we're certain that gameplay is representative of what you can experience on all those platforms. That is a good question. So the gameplay that we're showing at E3 doesn't involve dialogue trees because we're really just focusing on the action components of the game and showing off the action shooting experience. Beyond that, I can't really tell you too much. There is, like I say, there is a primary storyline to Destiny, and there is an exciting cast of characters that all have their own motivations, and you do interact with them over the course of that. And so there is an epic cinematic adventure that all players are going to go on. We're not really showing a lot about that yet, but there is that, like I say, that overarching storyline to the world. But beyond that, I can't really tell you too much more. I think the only player-controlled vehicle that we're showing at the moment is the Sparrow, which is that's the little speeder bike thing. The best thing is talking to you guys, honestly. I mean, we love getting a chance to be here and talk to the fans about what we're doing. I mean, that's why I'm here. Like, this is the first time we're showing Destiny in engine, letting people get a chance to check it out. And it's been years that we've been working on this game, so it's really exciting to be here.